this tentacle hentai porn looking ass falling out this portal. What's going on, guys? My name is Prestige. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be fighting the second secret slash optional boss available in Metal Gear Survive. This is also the final boss that you need to fight in order to unlock the secret trophy, which we'll talk about at the end of this video. The boss's name is Frostbite. You can unlock this by completing the main storyline in Metal Gear Survive and fighting the first optional boss, which is Big Mouth. I will link that in the description below if you missed the video that I uploaded yesterday. This guy is on a completely different level though. Frostbite is rank 50. It's got tons and tons of defense. You're gonna be just completely trying to drown this thing out with explosives, arrows, bullets, everything you're gonna throw at it, and sometimes you might have to hit it with a melee hit or two. This gameplay, however, is going to show you how to cheese this boss, meaning you don't really have to have that high of a level in order to beat it. The footage that you're looking at is going to be cut up all over the place because it took me over 30 minutes to beat this thing. That's just how much of a bullet sponge it is. Since there's not really going to be much going on during this fight, I'm going to explain how to cheese this boss. First things first, there are weak spots on it. However, they're constantly being covered and then uncovered. If you end up doing enough damage to those critical spots, this monster will fall from the sky, exposing all of its weak points. You can go right up to it and stab it if you want to. I found it really effective to use explosives to get some extra critical hits. And yeah, I guess we should kind of talk about this method. So what I found easiest for me with the things that I had, because obviously ammunition is pretty scarce in this game, especially if you don't have a huge stockpile of supplies, I took my ammunition that I had and I hid behind this rock. Now what I decided to do was call in a turret, and I was using the subclass that allowed me to repair my turret if it ended up getting hurt. So I have 200 rounds at my disposal. As long as that turret doesn't go away, that means I'm going to be able to do some pretty massive damage to this monster. As long as I'm around the rock and I can still see its weak spot, I can use the turret to do enough damage to knock it out of the sky. That's when I run in with my explosives. This is where the next part of my plan comes in. As long as I manage to run down to the target while it's on the ground, I can quickly place an auto turret so it starts auto attacking right away. At this point, that's when I start throwing my C4 at its weak points. This part is extra spicy because I have a particular piece of body armor that allows me to throw explosives, and it gives me a chance that I won't consume that explosive. Meaning, if I continuously throw C4, even though I only have 6, I might end up getting 10 or 12 or 13 or more, which is kind of crazy, but at the same time, this works well because this is your opportunity to inflict massive damage to Frostbite. As long as you detonate those C4 before the weak points close up, there's a good chance that you're gonna get upwards of 2,000 damage done with one C4, and that is good. The more that you do that, the better. After Frostbite gets up, there's a good chance that your automatic turret is going to go away. At this point, if it's damaged, I try to run in and repair it so it can do a little bit more damage before it gets destroyed, or run out of ammunition before it gets destroyed. I'll also try to be the bait and make sure Frostbite shoots me and not the turret, so the turret can continue doing damage. Even though it might not be hitting critical points, it's still a good opportunity to knock down some of its health because you're not consuming your own ammunition. Just rinse and repeat this method for the second time. Obviously, you can only carry 2 turrets that you can man, so that's 400 rounds that you're going to be able to put into it as long as you're accurate. Try to make sure that every single shot you put on target happens to be on the critical spot. If Frostbite starts to move away because it didn't notice you anymore, you can just shoot in its direction and it will come back to investigate. It's best to shoot it, though, if you can. That way you can just get some damage off. Even if you're hitting it in one of its armored spots, at least you did a little bit of damage with a bullet. But yeah, he'll come right back, wait for the weak spot to go down, and hit it with the turret. The biggest downside to this method is, once you run out of turrets, that's when things can be quite challenging. Not only have you been in the dust for a while, but you're trying to look at your oxygen level, you're trying not to die from this thing that's constantly throwing ice attacks at you, which is just insane because he can still hit you over there. You also have to make sure that you have enough ammunition in whatever you bring to take him out. For example, I thought if I put fire rounds in my sniper rifle, things would be a lot better. But it wasn't doing as much damage as it would on a normal target. And I understand that this is the case because obviously it's a level 50 monster. But I don't know, I guess maybe it was just my brain thinking if a fire bullet goes into an ice monster, it would do more damage. Not in this game though, so don't expect it. Either way, I tried to use all my little weaponry before pulling out the big guns. So I used my semi-auto pistol, I used my revolver in the beginning, and then I used my Molotov cocktails, which also did shit for damage, even though they're the upgraded version. So I'm not exactly sure if fire does anything extra against this monster. But anywho, moving forward, when it comes down to the fact that you're out of turrets, I also brought mortars with me. Because this Frostbite monster goes in one specific area when you shoot it and it comes over to investigate, you can always make sure to put your mortars right on target. They are kind of hard to see. I'll be honest when I say that. It's kind of hard to see where you're going to be putting the mortar, but as long as you put the line through its body, you'll be alright, because it will land right on its head. Sometimes you'll also do massive damage because one of those critical spots will be open when the shell lands on it, which is awesome. You always want that to happen. So I brought 2 mortars with me. I used those. I used all my grenades. I used all my Molotovs. And I was down to like my final magazine in my sniper. And thankfully, there was enough to put Frostbite down. After he died, you get the suppression achievement or trophy. As long as you've killed Big Mouth, which I think you have to kill Big Mouth in order to unlock this specific event, you'll get the suppression trophy. That's, of course, from defeating the 2 boss monsters. Frostbite will also drop some pretty dang good loot. You'll get 2 epic material cases and 3 rare material cases. Taking those back to the forward operating base, I ended up actually getting 2 epic related items. These are my first 2 epic items that I've seen in the game, and I've played so many different hard matches online to try to get epic items. This is the first thing I've seen, and even though it's just upgrade material, it's definitely cool. The other bonus that you'll get for beating Frostbite is a unique nameplate that you can apply to your gamer tag online, so when you play co-op, people can see your nameplate. And for anybody curious, I did this with the Scout subclass. That gives you the opportunity to fix your barriers, it gives you the opportunity to fix your turrets, so if it gets damaged by Frostbite, you're good to go. This is my weakest subclass right now, and I did this at Survivor rank 46. So if you're not rank 50 or higher, you don't need to be that high, especially if you're still going to cheese it. But just know that even when you're doing this method, there's still a big chance that you're going to die. There's a lot of huge attacks that this monster can do, and it's definitely more challenging than Big Mouth. Anyway, guys, I guess that's going to complete today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed the cheese method and this helped you get the nameplate, then drop a like on the video. Subscribe for more coming pretty soon, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace!